What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Work the Crowd podcast, where we talk everything sports and sometimes a little bit about lemon pepper chicken wings. What's up, Klucas? I'm joined by here, Coach Klucas, new coach of college football 26, University of Tennessee.
True.
Going for a 3-peat.
Moving from Lubbock, Texas to Knoxville, Tennessee.
All right, so let's just get right into it. We're gonna start off this episode with a video.
A hilarious video.
We're going to start talking about some college football, so let's give it a listen. This video is from CBS Sports, and let's see what we got.
So, a couple things here to take away from this.
That's hilarious.
So, obviously, this has to do with their loss against UCLA last week, all right? So, let's talk about this. So, it was already a bad loss to UCLA last week. But now you're telling me, as a major college football program, a team that had, I would say, was considered the favorite rolling into this year as a national champion between them and Texas, really, you lost. Not only lost, got dominated, essentially. I know the score got a little bit closer, but essentially dominated by a team whose offensive coordinator can't even work the headset.
First game.
Not only that, how much have we have on this show since last year been talking about Nico's taken leaps and bounds backwards from what he was. And you're telling me that essentially for most of that game, because he couldn't click the button on the headset, that Nico was calling plays to shred your defense? I mean, and then you fast forward to this week, and oh my goodness. So you thought, as a Penn State fan, listen, it can't get worse. Losing to Oregon at home. Losing to UCLA on the road with an interim head coach and an offensive coordinator that can't work the headset. You think that it can't get much worse, but it does, because you went on the road this week to Northwestern and lost to Northwestern. Not only that, now Drew Aller is done for the year.
Penn State's just done for at this point.
And realistically, they're in danger of losing 4 straight now because they go on the road to Iowa next week.
Who just pitched a shutout
against Wisconsin. So you're in danger of losing 4 straight. And then after that, you get to go to Columbus. So you're really in danger of losing 5 straight games.
I'm in danger. They're sitting on that bus on fire.
And then let's just backtrack and how this makes people at Ohio State feel. 1, because Penn State's horrible. That's number 1. But 2, for Jim Knowles to think that he was just so much better than what Ohio State had to offer him. And you can clearly see why now Ohio State did not want to make him the highest paid coordinator in the country. And Penn State laughably did. And thought they were doing something by doing that. There you go. You can have them. Because I got Matt Patricia now. So,
yeah,
but
grass isn't always greener. Sure.
It's not. So now, like a couple other coaches we're going to talk about, we were already talking about it last week, but I think the talks really have to heat up now as if Penn State's going to let go of James Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an AD at this point, I mean, I don't think you fire him during the season. You maybe later in the season, if anything. Especially in Penn State situation, I know we have some other coaches we're going to talk about, but in their situation, if they lose 5 straight, I mean, it's definitely.
Now his buyout is $56 million.
I feel like Penn State has the money to.
No, they do,
and it's not like you're not going to pay the man $56 million up front. It's going to be, so many million over a certain amount of years. And donors will pay that.
So
they will.
I've got a list of 5 people here that I think would be good Penn State replacements if they do decide to let go of James Franklin. I want you to tell me which one of these you like the best, okay? So the first one I think is the obvious one. I think you write a blank check to Curt Cignetti and try to pull him away from Indiana.
I think it's going to be a tough sell at this point.
It is, but it is still, at the end of the day, a bigger program where you can get more recruits. You have more money to deal with than Indiana does. It's still
okay.
It's still an eye-opener if you're Curt Cignetti.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so outside of that one, Manny Diaz, who's the head coach at Duke, who's the former Penn State defensive coordinator. Alex Golesh, the South Florida head coach, probably be looking for a bigger job coming up here soon. I've got Lance Leipold, the head coach at Kansas, who I think has done a tremendous job over the last 3 years with Kansas. That'll probably be eventually looking for a bigger job. And then the last one, his name is always on these bigger jobs, but I think, especially after losing to Colorado, I think he's realized he's done all he can with this program. Matt Campbell at Iowa State.
Which one do I like the best for
Yeah,
Penn
so
State
obviously Kurt
situation?
Cignetti would probably be your best one,
I think
but
that's the home run hire. I
right.
mean, again, he wins. Google him. But realistically, what I think your best choice, honestly, might be, I don't know, my opinion, it might be the last one.
Matt Campbell.
Yeah, from Iowa State. I think he's shown he can win
He's
big
more
games.
he's more experienced and
Right.
with top level.
Well, okay. So, and this is, we've talked about this numerous times on this podcast. James Franklin can't win the big games, and now certainly he just can't even win a game. So it's now spreading. The disease is spreading. But you get now to counter that. If your next head coach is somebody that you're not sure can win big games, why would you go around that route again? I'd say you find somebody. Of course, the home run hire is Kurt Cignetti because he just beat Oregon. That's the biggest win of his career. But he's proven he can win at anywhere
And
he
with that
goes.
win, he already has more top 10 wins than James Franklin does in 10 years at Penn
There
State.
you go. But I think the Iowa State, I think Matt Campbell, I think he's proven he can win some big games. I think that's a good choice. Or you go the route of, hey, let's get an up and comer. I think the South Florida guy is another choice. He's not as experienced, but I mean, they did win some decently big games this year. So you get some more money behind him. You never know what he could do.
I like outside of Cignetti, obviously. I do like the Matt Campbell potential hire. I like, after Matt Campbell, I would like Manny Diaz just because he's been in the Big Ten. He knows what the Big Ten brings. He's been at Penn State, obviously, so he knows what the standard is at Penn State. Now, granted, it was on James Franklin's staff, so maybe that standard isn't necessarily the same standard that you would want it to be. But, I mean, Manny Diaz so far, I mean, this only is a year and a half in at Duke. He's done pretty well as a head coach at Duke so far. And then, yeah, I think Lance Leipold I think he's up there with experience now at this point. I mean, he's been at Kansas for 3-4 years now. So, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have the experience. I would just question him jumping to a bigger, kind of same with Alex Golesh. Like, yeah, they're good at where they're at right now, but can they make that jump to a significant program and deal with what comes with that? Not just the expectations of winning, but obviously boosters, donors, everything that comes with at a bigger program that maybe you deal with, but not to the same extent at these smaller schools. And so, yeah, I think Matt Campbell, would be a great hire for them along with Manny Diaz. But obviously, if you can get Kurt Cignetti.
Yeah, I think a lot of these hires are more, how do you fit the program? And I think I like your example about Manny Diaz being in has been in the Big Ten and understands how, what it takes to win at that level. That's what made Cignetti such a good hire for Indiana. Is the whole freaking state is nothing but sports. So,
well, and also for Cignetti, what makes it also easier for him when he first came in is it's at the time it's Indiana football. There's no expectations.
Right? Yeah, I mean, true. Yeah, whoever takes that job at Penn State, because I do firmly believe
they're going to have a lot of expectations.
Yeah, I mean you're at a top tier program,
which is why I think if you're Penn State, you can't pick. Like, no disrespect, I'm not saying these guys don't deserve. You can't pick an Alex Golesh because it's an unknown. You're wanting to take it from where it's at now, which is a 10-11 win team pretty much every year, and try to push it over its hump. You can't just take a chance at somebody. You got to find somebody that's proven. All right, so maybe another college that's not necessarily got a whole lot of expectations, but let's talk about old Bill Belichick at North Carolina. Because the rumors this week were, when they originally came out, that, the two were going to come together for a buyout.
Already?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That it was going to kind of be like a mutual thing. Bill would want to go. North Carolina's ready to let him go with the whole circus it's been. already.
Boy, that didn't last long.
Now, obviously, they came out, North Carolina and Bill Belichick came out, was like, this is false, doing the typical, you have
Yeah.
to just to save face. But I mean, I don't think Bill will just quit midseason, but I would not be surprised if he just said at the end of the year, this just isn't for me.
Or his girlfriend.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, I could see that happen for sure. What's his buyout?
So I was looking at it. It's very weird the way that his contract is set up. So Bill Belichick buyout. So his contract is set. So Bill Belichick's buyout is $1 million if he chooses to leave North Carolina. If he chooses to leave North Carolina.
Okay.
And then the buyout, and then his buyout, if it's within the first 3 years that North Carolina decides to, it's like $20 million or something like that.
Yeah, I mean I think that's,
which is doable.
Yeah, for sure.
And a school like North Carolina, you can't afford to take a chance at somebody because, again, there's not really a whole lot of expectations for North Carolina football. So I've only got 3 that I would like for those. First one, Jamie Chadwell, who's the head coach at Liberty for the last couple of years. I think he'd be ready to take a step into the next. John Summerall, as much as I hate to say it, but Summerall's due for a job here coming up at a Power 5 school. I mean, the way he's ran Tulane the last couple of years, I mean, he's ready for a Power 5 job. And then the last one, we're going to mention him in another job as well, but John Gruden, I think. Now, do I think North Carolina would want to go that route to go essentially NFL coach to another NFL coach? Probably not. They probably don't want to deal with that. But still a name to throw out there. And then Florida, Billy Napier. Now, his buyout's $20 million. They lost last night at Texas A&M. I mean, I just DJ Lagway has been better. And I don't know if that's necessarily got to do with the fact that he's just gotten more reps in because he didn't practice a whole lot before the season, and maybe that had something to do with his bad play. Now, I don't think that had anything to do with his 5-pick game against LSU. 5 picks is, buddy, what are you doing? You're just making bad decisions at this point. For a slow start, I can understand why. But, I mean, Florida at this point has to move on, right? I mean, this is a very talented roster.
Yeah.
That Florida had. I mean, it's not up there with everybody else, but it is a talented roster with a good young potential quarterback, and you're not taking full advantage of. So, I mean, to me, I feel like you have to move up Billy Napier, whether it's now or you wait to the end of the year.
Yeah, and Florida's schedule doesn't get any better. I think, don't they have like one of the hardest schedules in the country?
Yeah, so Florida's remaining schedule,
which sucks for Napier, but
correct, it does not help his case at all.
No.
So Florida's 2-4 currently. Their next game is at home against Mississippi State, which Mississippi State's been pretty good this year. So, I mean, that could be a toss-up for them.
Yeah.
Then they play Georgia in their rivalry game. And then they're at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, at home against Tennessee, and then at home against Florida State. So,
yeah, I mean, they have a real chance to win a lot of those games, but
so realistically, I think they probably beat Mississippi State.
I would say at home, yeah.
And then I would say they probably beat Kentucky, and then maybe a chance against Florida State. But outside of that, don't see him beating Georgia. Don't see him beating Ole Miss. Don't see him beating Tennessee. So at bare minimum, you're talking that's 3 more losses. So you're talking bare minimum 5, or best case scenario 5-7.
I think Napier's seat was already warm as is before the season started. So I think this is just a, icing on the cake for the AD to be like, yeah, man, it's just not working out. I mean, this was, finish the season 5 and whatever, or whatever, how many wins they'll get. And this is, we just got to move a different route. I think at this point, they would use that as a reason just to get rid of him. And that buyout for Florida is nothing. If it's $20 million, I mean, Florida's got so much money down there. It's crazy.
Yep. So I got 4 for this one. So the first one, we already mentioned John Gruden, which we've been joking with our buddy Matt that's going to be your next head coach.
Yep.
But I mean, it is a realistic. I mean, John Gruden's talked about he wants to get back into toaching. He went on that whole when he took that trip to Georgia, talked about how he wants to coach in the SEC and all this. I mean, this would kind of open the door for him to be able to do that. And I mean, knowing Florida, they took a chance on Billy Napier. You want to take another big splash, big name. I mean, Gruden is probably one of the bigger names you could get.
And if there's anybody that can build a culture,
Correct.
even in college, it's John Gruden.
Yeah, and Gruden. That's the thing. Like, if you watch, like people always talk about what's hard about NFL coaches going to colleges. You can't. It's harder to relate to younger kids. But if you watch like
The quarterback
Gruden
stuff he does.
when Gruden's QB camps and everything, and
Yeah.
how he adjusts to them, like I mean, who would have thought you'd ever seen John Gruden listening to NBA YoungBoy just because Will
Right.
Howard mentioned it?
Right. Yeah.
Like, so
No, he's definitely, yeah, I don't think he'd have a problem with that. Bill always was going to have a problem with that. He's just not that kind of coach and that kind of guy. So someone like Gruden, I think, definitely has a better shot to.
And I think he'd
make
actually
it
be
at the
pretty
college
good.
level.
Now, maybe it's obviously just like every new coach. I think it's going to take you a year or two to get used to.
Well, and he hasn't coached in a while.
Correct.
So.
And so, but I think at the end, I think Gruden would be a good hire for them. Next one, because his name, and I know he just took the job, but his name has already been thrown around for different job openings potentially. And that's Jed Fish at Washington. This is only year 2 for him at Washington, but his name has already been thrown around. He's already been looking at other jobs. He's not looking to stay at Washington very long, from what I'm reading. The next one, Alex Golesh at South Florida. You're already down there in the Florida area. You know the area well for recruiting already. You know, you want to be able to come in and find a guy that can help DJ Lagway through this last year or two. You know, on offense, he could do that. And then the last one, which might be what I would almost consider the home run hire for them if they were to do it, would be Will Stein, the offensive coordinator at Oregon.
Yeah, he's destined for a head coaching job in the next, 3 years.
Yes.
That would be, I think that's a great fit for Florida, and they just write him here's it, whatever you want.
Just look at his track record. I know, so Dan Lanning's a defensive guy, so I know a lot of people like to give credit to head coaches right away, but Dan Lanning's a defensive guy. Not saying that he doesn't know offense or anything, because obviously you do have to have knowledge of offense when you're playing against it as a defensive guy. But, I mean, look at Will Stein's track record. Bo Nix comes in to Oregon, and yeah, he had Kenny Dillingham, who's a head coach at Arizona State right now, his first year, but that second year, Bo Nix, which is probably what made him into the NFL, was under Will Stein. Next year, Dylan Gabriel comes in. Dylan Gabriel wasn't necessarily the greatest quarterback at Oklahoma, and he comes into Oregon, and now he's a third-round draft pick starting for the Cleveland Browns now. Now this year, I mean, Dante Moore is balling this year, and Will Stein's got a lot to do with that. And his track record so far tells you that he knows how to develop quarterbacks, and it's exactly what Florida needs. And you give Florida a development coach like Will Stein, who can develop quarterbacks that can just keep kind of rotating quarterbacks, whether it be year after year, whatever you want to do, and develop quarterbacks. And then you add, if he's able to recruit Florida speed, Florida receivers, I mean, that would make Florida very, very dangerous, especially in the SEC. So I think Gruden and Will Stein would be your home run hires. And then the other two would be if they don't want to go for whatever reason, this is the route we go. So where did I save that link? All right, Doug, we said we were going to do this today. So let me scroll all the way down and make sure we're at the bottom. All right. So Bleacher Report a couple weeks ago, Doug, gave its top 25 players of this century in college football. All right. So, starting from 1, working its way down, Tim Tebow, number 1.
Okay. Fair.
Obviously, I'm not going to read through his accolades. I'll leave it up if you want to read here at the bottom. But we all know these players, essentially.
Yeah, that's a fair start.
So, Tim Tebow, number 1. Number 2, Cam Newton.
Fair. You can arguably put him at 1.
Yep. Number 3, Reggie Bush.
Yep. Okay.
All right. 4 is Ndamukong Suh.
Okay.
Arguably, in my lifetime, the best defensive player I've seen.
Yeah. Unstoppable, really.
5, Vince Young. All right. 6, Ed Reed.
He's out there ball hunting. Just hunting, dude. Joe Burrow.
Yep. 7, Joe Burrow.
Okay.
8, Larry Fitzgerald.
I don't think he's dropped the ball ever in his entire career, college or pros.
Probably not. 9, Baker Mayfield. We got 10, Brian McKinney, first offensive lineman we're seeing. 11, Lamar Jackson.
Love to see it.
12, Travis Hunter. What are we doing?
Why the fuck is this guy 12? In the century?
of the century.
What?
So,
No way.
before we dive into this, let's look at who he's in front of, okay?
All right. Yeah, keep going.
Devontae Smith, Alabama.
Won a Heisman.
Yep. Which, I mean, Travis did too.
Yeah,
whether
but
you think he deserved it or not. But
right. Whatever. Keep going.
all right. Aaron Donald.
Honestly, neither one of those two should be in front of Aaron Donald, I don't think. But whatever.
T. Sizzle, Terrell Suggs.
Yeah. Absolute monster.
Matt Leinart.
Another absolute monster.
Roy Williams, safety at Oklahoma. Joe Thomas, left tackle, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck. Massage parlor himself, Deshaun Watson, which I'll give him credit. I'll take. This was before
he is
that.
number one in that category.
This was number one, or this was before that. So I'll give him credit. I mean, Deshaun Watson was still a hell of a.
He was.
College.
Yeah.
Michael Crabtree, probably the best freshman season I've ever seen.
Dude's insane.
Khalil Mack.
Okay.
Our guy, Jonathan Taylor.
Broke a bunch of records.
And then David Pollock, who's probably, I mean, he was a good college football player, not taking that away from him, but better known for being just an ESPN analyst.
Yeah.
And then the honorable mentions that Travis Hunter was also in front of: Adrian Peterson, Chase Young, Darren McFadden, Derrick Henry, James Laurinaitis, Johnny Manziel, Justin Blackman, Kellen Moore, Marcus Mariota, Sean Taylor, Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and Will Anderson.
The fact that Johnny Manziel is not up there for as like influential and how good of a player he was, and the fact that he's not in the top 25 is insane to me.
I agree.
Travis Hunter does not. He can be an honorable mention for what he did, I guess, but god dang it. 12?
Yeah. So here's my thing. Like, I made a list. I'm not gonna lie, I lost the list. I think I left it at my desk at work, but I'll be glad to share it next week or something. But here would be my thing. Like, top 25 players this century, like, you have to make a mark. Like, whether, like, you've had to have been a staple player of a national championship team. Like, granted, now when I say this, yes, when I think of them, I'll think of him. But like, if I think of this team, like if you say 2018 Oklahoma, I'm thinking Baker Mayfield. Now, granted, yes, you say 2024 Colorado, I'm thinking Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter. But it's like, but you didn't win anything. Like, you won the Heisman when arguably you probably shouldn't have. It probably should have went to Ashton Genty. But it's just like, when I think of Travis, so like for me, like also like what kind of impact did you leave, while you were at college? And like, so to me, even somebody that's not on this list, because it's somebody that we go, you have the best highlight tape ever. Tavon Austin, in West Virginia, like where would be like arguably the best athlete I've ever seen play football? Where would Percy Harvin be? And we can talk about rearranging this list. Like, we can talk about this all day long. But to me, for Travis Hunter to even sniff the top 25 of this list is absolutely insane.
He snorted it.
But I'm just saying, for him to even be on here is absolutely insane.
Yeah, yes.
Again, we can debate all day long about where these guys should be ranked. Because if you ask me, Cam Newton should be number one, because I don't think nobody could ever do what Cam Newton did.
His journey alone was really cool.
I mean, you're talking single-handedly. Now, they had a good defense. Drug his team to the national title game with no players on offense ever getting drafted to the NFL. So, it's just, yeah, I knew you'd get a good kick out of that with Travis Hunter being there and everything else. And again, you can debate all day long about where you want to rank the rest of them. But to me, Travis Hunter should not be on that list. And again, like you said, for Johnny Manziel to be an honorable mention and you put Travis Hunter in there is absolutely insane.
I mean, Johnny won a Heisman.
Johnny won a Heisman. Derrick Henry won a Heisman and a national championship.
Yeah, Derrick Henry not on that list is insane too.
Like, Kellen Moore damn near holds every collegiate passing record while playing at Boise State. Like, Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu, besides Ndamukong Suh, might be the best defender of my lifetime in college.
Yeah, but
And he returned
I
punts.
enjoyed watching.
Like, I just don't. And then just on name alone, over Adrian Peterson.
You're right.
Like, yeah, I just
basically, it sums it up to Bleacher Report. What are you doing? Who the hell made this list?
I'd like to say clickbait, but yeah.
Kinda.
So
we're looking at it and we're talking about it. So I guess they did
talking
their job.
about let's move on real quick. MLB playoffs. We are in the conference championships now. They are officially set. You've got Dodgers and Brewers on the NL side. And then on the AL side, you've got Mariners and Blue Jays. So now listen, I know our guy Zach is either going to listen or watch. And I think after this, he's going to want to watch because I have something very interesting to show. So just watch this. This was on that final play, the infamous final play where they threw it to home. So wait for it. I don't think his foot touched home.
He came back and touched.
I don't think his foot touched.
No, it didn't. It came back. He came back and touched the plate.
I
watched him. He missed it too. I was watching it live. Yeah.
Okay, because I just saw this.
Somebody was screaming at him because they thought he missed too on the Dodgers.
That's why I'm looking at this.
They were like, go back.
Because I'm looking at this.
Came back and touched the plate.
Okay, because I was about to say, because I'm looking at this and I'm like,
he did not touch the plate. I watched that live and they were doing the replay on the TV, and you can see he comes back.
Okay, because I was gonna say because I didn't get to watch the game live when it was going on, but when I saw the highlight afterwards, I was like, his foot did not touch.
Yeah. No, it was pretty quick. But 100%, I think if the Phillies catcher actually just doesn't
makes an effort to go back for the ball.
Yeah, there's a real chance that actually he gets called out because I don't think the ump even
realized that he didn't touch.
Yeah, so it's reviewable, and if you go back and tag him, you just say the runner's out.
Yeah, because then you can argue that he ran and say go back and watch it. They go back and watch, and they're like, yeah, we got him.
Yes, no, the Phillies just absolutely crashed and burned. Let's just be completely honest.
Yeah.
So that, but
the famous words of Zach, we're paying all this money for all these hitters, and they just don't show up.
Yeah, there's only been one city. And I think one of you sent this, that has lost in the same night an MLB playoff game, an NFL game, and an NHL game, all in the same night, in the same city. And it's been Philadelphia twice. Once just last week, and then once back in, I think it was 1986. So, Philly, sorry.
It was not a good night for our buddy Zach.
No, I feel bad for him. But you got to give credit to the Dodgers. Their pitching held up. That was the whole question with the Dodgers, if the bullpen's going to hold up. It did enough to beat the Phillies.
Now let's hope it does against
the
Let's just
hope it does, yeah. Well, I think that's going to be a good series.
See, but I'd argue the AL side is going to be the more interesting series. Blue Jays, Mariners.
Yeah. Mariners and Blue Jays,
Yeah, I think now both are going to be very good series, but I think the more interesting is going to be Blue Jays, Mariners. You've got the big dumper versus Vlad Guerrero Jr. Seattle's pitching versus the offense of Toronto. So it's going to be good. But I'm just glad to see on the outside of the Dodgers, really, because, we've been known to see the Dodgers here recently. I'm glad to see new teams.
Yeah, for sure.
To be involved.
That's
not the Yankees, not the Red Sox, not the Astros. New, fresh. So
yes,
glad to see it.
And then that starts tonight. The Mariners and Blue Jays play tonight at 8:00.
Correct.
Eastern.
So before we get into a little bit of NFL, our city, if you don't know, we live in Louisville, Kentucky, is getting a UFL team, the Louisville Kings, heading to Lynn Family Stadium next spring. So, can't wait to be able to get out there next spring and watch some Louisville King football and see what we're able to bring in, what kind of team we're able to put out first year. Hopefully they have the same luck as the Lou City soccer team, and maybe we can win something year one.
Yeah, I mean that venue, Lynn Family Stadium, is a perfect venue for a UFL team. Obviously, I think that UFL saw that, and that's why we ultimately got the bid. But I think we were one of 32 cities that applied for a UFL team, and we ended up getting it. Sports run deep in the city of Louisville. It has for a long time. So this does have a real chance to broaden our sports horizon if it's successful. I mean, you never know what comes out of that. Because I fully expect our Lou City soccer team to eventually go MLS in the next, I would say, 5 years. So we're on a very, I would say, cool, interesting sports path in the city of Louisville.
Yeah, and like you said, I think they took a look at what Lou City's like soccer has done.
Yeah,
In the first, just in the very short time that we've had them, and how well that they do attendance wise, and especially like you said, we won the championship. What, the first 2 years we were in it, and I mean the crowd. I mean, jam-packed crowds for those championship games. I think UFL saw that and they were like, "Hey, we'd be willing to take a chance on this for football." And I think if they can recreate that, then this would be great for the UFL. So, I know I'll be excited whether it's bad, good. It's just another time to go watch football, especially it'll be in the springtime and during non-football time. So it will give us something to watch outside of baseball during the spring / going into the summer. So
yeah. And so shout out to Mike Rapole for bringing him here. He's big in the city of Louisville. He's a big horse racing guy, and he's a very rich guy. He's a billionaire. But yeah, so shout out to him for bringing in almost we're all sitting on the semi-professional level. That's what we've been sitting on for a while.
yeah, I mean, we've been there forever with the bats being AAA, and then obviously, like you said, bringing in Lou City.
Yeah, but it brings a lot of money into the city, and like I mentioned, you never know what this is going to bring in the future for future pro teams.
Yeah,
It's just showing Louisville is a city for sports.
I would like to see, because I mean, I get it, they already have, but I'd like to see eventually, you're never going to see an NBA team, I think, here in Louisville, but
Even though we do have a venue for it.
yes, I would like to see potentially a G League team put here.
Yeah, there's a lot of different places they could play.
So, but yeah, all right. So moving on to the actual professional football, the NFL side of things. Doug, seen something this week. I'm going to show it to you because this really grinds my gears. All right. Fox put this out. 2025 MVP odds. I get it. It's just the odds. But please, for the love of God, somebody tell me, what has Patrick Mahomes done to be the number 2 in the MVP ladder?
I don't know why he's even in the top 10.
Like, what has he done? I feel like for you to be in an MVP conversation, if your team has a losing record, you're automatically disqualified. Okay. I don't think even Josh Allen, who's number 1 on there, should be in the top 5 of the MVP race. Really, if I'm looking at just who's on here right now, out of these 6, there's only 3 of them that I would say deserve to be on the MVP on the list. And that'd be Baker, Matthew Stafford, and Jared Goff. Outside of that, somebody tell me, what has Patrick Mahomes done? Now, granted, Mahomes hasn't been awful, so I'm not saying that, but the Chiefs are 2-3, 2-3, and I will not sit here and listen and keep showing the disrespect to Indiana Jones and what he has done for the Colts. Okay, because to me right now, the top 5 should be, I feel like Jared Goff's number 1. If you look at Jared Goff's numbers, they're actually insane. Number 2 behind him, I would put Baker because of, I mean, we're talking what, 4 or 5 or 4 or 4. They've only won 4 games, 4-1. Those 4 games have all been Baker leading game-winning drives. 3 right behind him, you got to put Daniel Jones. 4, Matthew Stafford. And 5, I give credit where credit is due. What Dak Prescott's done with Dallas this year has been amazing.
You're only mentioning quarterbacks. I think there's a couple of receivers that deserve to be on this list. I know it's a quarterback award.
For me, if you wanted to swap out Stafford for Puka, I'm okay with that. But that would be the only receiver I would pick that for an MVP. If you wanted to swap out Stafford for Puka, I'm good with that. But outside of that, it's got to be. I mean, Jordan Love hasn't really put up great numbers in any of the games that he's played in. Like basically, what you're telling me is outside of Mahomes, you're just picking, the quarterback that has or the quarterback with a great record. So I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what else Indiana Jones has to do.
I mean, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is always going to be around. He's like, I mean, honestly, he's like Tom Brady. He's taken over that role a little bit, right? He's always going to be in the conversation. That's just part of it.
But
yeah.
So there was that, and also, let me get back to it. So NFL GMs and executives ran a poll. Okay. So this was, if you're starting a franchise from scratch, who are your top 3 quarterbacks you would take? These were all the quarterbacks that were voted on. You see somebody that's missing? Not Daniel Jones, obviously.
No.
Do you see a name that's missing? Because I have to question something.
P. Mahomes, Burrow, Daniels, Jackson, Herbert, May, Stroud, Mayfield. I don't know who you're getting at.
So all GMs and executives voted on this. So you're telling me Howie Roseman wouldn't take his own quarterback?
Who's
Jalen Hurts?
Oh. I was like, who's Howie Roseman? I don't know who that is.
GM for the Eagles.
Yeah, I got that. Well, fucking way they're playing right now, I wouldn't. Did you just chug a Diet Coke?
Took a drink of one.
A slight chug. That's a... Give me all the aspartame.
But yeah, I just found that interesting. You're telling me your own GM wouldn't take you?
I mean, would you?
Not over these guys.
That's what I mean. I mean, you're telling me if they had a chance, 1-for-1 trade for Jalen Hurts and one of these guys, that mofo's taking.
I think the only one that they probably there'd be 2 on here that they probably wouldn't, and it'd probably be CJ and Drake May.
Okay, maybe, but still,
I think everybody else they probably would.
You know what? You give Drake May a couple more years, I think that
for sure. But I'm just talking about
changes.
We're just saying right now.
Yeah, I mean the list isn't horrible. I think Joe Burrow, though, honestly, for me, is going drastically down on this list
just because
he can't stay healthy.
Prone. Yeah, but part of that is because of his offensive line. So, I mean, if you're talking about starting a franchise from scratch, I know who I've got if I'm a competent GM and not the Bengals. I know how to protect them.
Yeah, but is the damage already done?
I don't think so.
I hope not. I like Joe Burrow. I think he deserves to go somewhere that will protect him. But yes, I don't know. I would seriously question that if that damage already done. Obviously, Josh Allen being number 1, I think it should be everybody's number 1. Josh Allen's insane. Patrick Mahomes still can.
I found it interesting that more GMs took Jaden Daniels over Lamar.
I think because of kind of the same situation as Burrow a little bit. Lamar is, a tiny bit injury prone, and Jaden Daniels is younger. So I think if you're starting a franchise, you want him for as long as possible. Jaden Daniels is probably, 6 years younger than Lamar? 5 years?
Probably, something like that.
I think Lamar's our age, like 28, 29.
Lamar Jackson age. He is 28. And Daniels age 24.
So 4 years in the NFL is a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's why that is partly the case. Lamar's kind of in the same situation, though. I mean, his offensive line hasn't been like the greatest recent years, and he's been hit a lot. Now, that granted, he does rush a lot, so that is different. But yeah, I mean, either one. You're good with either one.
Yeah. So, and then real quick, a little more on the A.J. Brown noise, a little bit. So, did you watch Thursday Night Football?
Some of it.
So, did you hear Kirk Herbstreit and them? They talked about at one point. They said it was early in the game. They said Jalen Hurts, Saquon, and A.J. Brown all had a meeting with themselves.
Yep, heard that.
And they mentioned that during the broadcast. After the game, the reporters asked A.J. Brown about how that meeting went, and if it, I mean, obviously they lost, so they were talking about it. And A.J. said, "I don't remember having that meeting at all with either one of them this week."
There's something wrong in the locker room right now for sure, and it's showing on the field. I mean, you lose to, granted, the exciting whites of the Giants, but the Giants still.
Scatterboo and Jackson Dart.
Scatterboo is his CTE. I think he's had so much CTE, it's gone. Like he's immune to CTE at this point. Honestly, CTE is scared of getting the Cam Scatterboo. So, granted though, really New York's not really that good of a team. I mean, I know they kind of like got something brewing right now, but the Eagles should have taken care of that. Like no problem.
Yeah, I mean, if your star receiver, your best receiver, whether like if he's unhappy, and when this all started, first of all, this all to me falls on Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, because when this started, this should have been nipped in the butt immediately. Like, hey, what's going on? What's your frustration? Okay, we'll try to work on it together. It doesn't seem like they do that. It's kind of like, it seems like for Nick Sirianni, it seems like every time A.J. Brown tweets something, posts something that's cryptic or whatever that, has something to do with him going to the Eagles, it seems like Nick Sirianni's answer is, oh, okay, we'll just give him the ball, first play of the game or something like that next game, and he'll be okay.
So, how many catches, as much as he's complained, how many catches do you think he has on the season? Just without looking. I have it pulled up.
Give me the targets and I'll try to, because I truly don't even know how many times he's actually been thrown to this year.
He's 28 total targets this year.
28 targets. Oh, 28 targets. I'm going to go 14, 13 catches.
19.
Okay, so not far off. But
he's averaging 7 targets a game. How many do you think he wants?
For a guy like A.J. Brown, so if we're going off of what everybody assumption, like we consider him a top 5 wide receiver. So like, let's just look real quick. Top 5 wide receiver. So let's just look. I won't even go with somebody that gets a lot of volume like Puka or.
What about Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to try to go off of. Justin Jefferson.
Okay, he's had this season.
So Justin Jefferson's been targeted 42 times.
Yeah, he's caught the ball 29.
So 42, they played 5 games, so he's averaging 8 targets a game.
So he's averaging 1 target less a game
than
A.J. Brown is?
Yeah. I would say for a guy like A.J. Brown, and I feel like that's low for Justin Jefferson too. I feel like for guys like that, they should be targeted 10, 11 times minimum a game. So like the Rams targeting Puka. So Puka's been targeted 62 times by 5 games. He's getting targeted 12 times a game. I feel like that's about right. Especially for Puka. But I feel like anywhere in the ballpark of 9 to 11 times is probably where your best receiver should be targeted. Because if not, either if he doesn't get targeted that many times in a game, okay, maybe you're playing against somebody like Pat Surtain or something that took him out of the game. Yeah. But consistently, it's never going to happen that way. So why isn't he getting more targets? So that would be my thing. And I think he should be targeted 9 to 11 times at least a game. Especially somebody like A.J. Brown, who's big, he should get, almost 3 to 4 targets of those targets a game should almost just be in the red zone of just, go get it balls.
Yeah, I think that 10 mark is probably right. Yeah, ultimately you're right. I think it falls on Sirianni for whoever's calling the offensive plays to
Kevin
work
Patullo.
on that. Huh?
Kevin Patullo.
Yeah. So I think that's part of it.
Something else that somebody else brought up is how much is, we talk about Sirianni and, the kind of the talks about Sirianni died when he won the Super Bowl last year, obviously a little bit. But, granted, a lot of great coaches are, but I don't feel like you should be as dependent. But Sirianni in his tenure with the Eagles has been very coordinator dependent. You look at the year that they went to the Super Bowl, the first time when they lost to the Chiefs. He had Shane Steichen as his offensive coordinator and Josh Gannon as his defensive coordinator. Steichen obviously heads to Indianapolis, be the head coach. Josh Gannon, head coach at Arizona, who's just over there beating on players. But then, last year, he's got Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator, who's we all knew could call defenses. We've seen it before.
Sure.
And then last year had Kellen Moore, who was already calling good offenses with the Chargers, with the Cowboys, and then came to Philly. And now he's with the Saints. And honestly, I mean, with what he's got with the Saints, I think Kellen Moore's done a pretty good job of making Spencer Rattler actually look pretty good. So I don't feel like you should be, as a great head coach or as a top level head coach, you should not be as coordinator heavy dependent as Sirianni really kind of has, which is wild to me because Nick Sirianni was the Colts offensive coordinator, and Sirianni did a pretty good job of calling plays when he was in Indy. So, at some point, why doesn't he just pick up and just go, I got it. I'll do it. And, we saw the one year that when they moved off of Steichen and, before they got Kellen Moore, that offense was kind of in question for the Eagles the year after the Super Bowl. Now, granted, you can say whatever you want about Kellen Moore as well last year because you have Saquon, you had all these things, but obviously it makes a difference because I'm looking at the same exact team with the same exact players, and it's not producing like it was last year.
Yeah. So you brought up Saquon. I was kind of thinking like how many rush attempts is Saquon getting per game, and it's about it's 15. It's almost 16 rush attempts a game for Saquon, which maybe that seems low.
So let's look at it last year. So Saquon Barkley last year in total attempts, he had
Now
345. So divide that by, he played in 16 games because he didn't play the last game because that's why people were pissed that he didn't get the 2,000 yard mark.
right.
Or didn't break. Sorry, he got the 2,000 yard mark that he didn't break the rushing record. So he was averaging 21 and a half, so essentially 22 rush attempts a game last year.
Again, that seems low. I thought that seemed low this season so far. So what's going on with the offense? That I think that proves that there's something wrong with the play calling.
Well, and also, so like if you're looking at it, so he averaged last year per attempt 5.8 yards. Saquon Barkley did.
Yep.
Per rushing attempt. This year so far he's averaging 3.4 yards per game. Last year he averaged 125 rushing yards per game. So far through this year he's averaging 50.
My fancy team tells you that's correct.
Yeah. So more so like I don't know if it's an issue with the offense or what's going
Maybe
on
offensive
with Saquon.
line?
Like what's going on with Saquon per se. Because
He opens that passing game up.
yeah, he opened up a lot of things. But I mean, you said he's averaging 16 so far this year.
Yeah, about 16. It's like 15,
So, I mean,
8.
realistically, 6 less rushing attempts, which is a lot, but
That's a decent amount.
6 less rushing attempts doesn't equal a drop in 125 rushing yards per game to 54.
Is it him or is it, offensive line?
I mean, I know Landon Dickerson's been banged up a little bit. Overall, the offensive line's been pretty healthy for Philly. So
Something's just off.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if some people have a Super Bowl hangover. I don't know maybe if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if they're just because last year this was a hungry Philly team trying to get back to the Super Bowl and win it. They're just not that hunger anymore, which that comes from your head coach. You got to find a way to motivate these guys.
Yeah. I mean, they're still leading their division. They're still 4-2. I mean, maybe we're just
I mean, it is also still, but we're only 5-6 weeks into the season, so the season's still young.
Yeah, maybe we're overacting a little bit, but with the fact that AJ Brown is complaining that much, there's a problem. There's something.
Yeah, because the last couple of years, yeah, AJ Brown's complained, but it's been once or twice throughout the season, and it's been sporadic.
Now it's like every game.
Now it's every week.
Yeah,
and
something's up.
And I don't know, maybe does that affect the Philly locker room in general? Maybe is it affecting everybody? AJ Brown complaining, kind of got, your offensive lineman feeling a certain type of way. Does it have Jalen Hurts feeling a certain type of way?
It can't be good. I mean, nothing positive comes out of that.
No. So I don't know. As bad as it, I mean, I've talked about last week. Maybe trading AJ would be the best for everybody.
Get him out. I was just thinking that. Like, get him out of there.
Be the best for AJ. Be the best for that locker room. Be the best for the, maybe not necessarily the best for the offense right away, but
next man up.
Just best thing. They have good receivers. I mean,
right?
like you still have
Smith
Devontae
is
Smith, who
still
is a
really
very
good.
good receiver. Jahan Dotson is still a good receiver if you can get him the ball, but it's kind of hard to get him the ball when you got to try to feed Goddard and Devontae and Saquon and AJ.
And well, so maybe it's too many mouths to feed.
Yeah, I mean it could be.
Maybe they get rid of AJ, get with something for him, and then things just start automatically fixing themselves. Send AJ somewhere where
Well, and
he's going to
also
get
with somebody like
12
AJ,
targets a game and
a
move
lot of
on.
his routes are, deep route centered. If you're in granted the Philadelphia offensive lines, able to hold up a lot of times, but sometimes maybe Jalen Hurts just don't got enough time for you to wait to get open on your deep route. So that's why people like Goddard and Devontae Smith get to eat because they're short route dependent people. Like they run short routes. They're quicker to get open than you are. So I don't know. I think AJ does need to go. I think it'd be best for Philly and AJ. They would both benefit from him going in different ways. AJ, from a playing standpoint, gets to go be a number one somewhere, possibly on a team that's actually going to throw the ball more and can get him his targets and receptions and everything. And then Philly can get that out of their locker room, get a distraction out a little bit, and try to see maybe if that helps the offense. So, but yeah, so I just don't. That's the only other option that I think they have. I don't think you can just continue to go game after game of AJ Brown coming out afterwards and complaining essentially or making a post and just let it continue, because the more you let this continue, the more it is going to affect the locker room, and then you're going to have a bigger problem on your hand.
Well, I think AJ's wanting a trade. I think that's the whole reason he's doing this. I think he's tired. I think he knows he got a Super Bowl. Now he wants to go maintain a legacy. And he needs to do that by getting targets. He wants to break records. It sounds like he's being, I'm going to say selfish, but that's really not really the right term, I think, in this situation, because he's given a lot to the city of Philly. And, he brought him a Super Bowl. And I think now he just wants to get his. But can you blame him? Really? I mean, that offense is, last year was pretty well balanced. But that's what happens when you have good players with good running back, good receivers. Yeah, so just send him somewhere. Let him go get 12 targets a game, go break some records.
Also, where this all stimulates from, I go back to AJ Brown's post right after the Super Bowl. He posted on Instagram. All right. Now, he said in the exact post, he said, this was a kind of a long post, but it said, after a few days, I've had time to reflect on being a champion. I tried to feel how everyone made it seem to be a champion, and unfortunately, it was just short-lived, 2 days to be exact. I've never been a champion at the highest level before, but I thought my hard work would be justified by winning it all. It wasn't. My thrill for this game comes from when I dominate. It's the hunt that does it for me. It's when a DB drops his head and surrenders because he can't fuck with me. The intense battles, early mornings, late nights, sacrifices. I love putting smiles on people's faces. But don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't what I thought it would be. It's the journey that I love the most. So basically what he's telling you is it was great to win a championship. Don't get him wrong. Like, it was great for him to get, but it's not the same feeling that he wants.
I think any of those guys would tell you the same, though. I mean, any top guy like that is the thrill. It's not just winning.
The thrill is to embarrass a DB.
Well, any position. It's to dominate what you're doing. And that's the whole reason they're at that level, is because they have that drive to want to do that. So again, he basically just said, even after a Super Bowl, he's like, I want to get mine. I want a bunch of yards. I want a bunch of catches. I want to embarrass defenders and teams by myself. Unfortunately, he needs a quarterback that's going to throw in the ball, like we just said.
Or not necessarily just throwing the ball, because Jalen will throw him the ball, but just get him the volume of touches
That's
that
what I
he
mean.
wants.
Yeah. Maybe not just a quarterback, but offense in general.
An offense that's centered around getting him the ball.
So, okay, let's just bring this up real quick. Say they do trade him. Where's the number one place he should go? Just off the top of your head. Just don't look shit up. Just look.
I was going to say, we did this last week, but I think the best place to me for him would be if you want to get with a team that's going to get you the ball. Now, the only thing I would have issues with this play specific is that this head coach is known to be a running style team, but You have a young quarterback that he knows that can throw the ball. It's New England.
Well, yeah, we did do this last week.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
let's remind
I
them.
only
Yeah.
gave you a set of 4 teams, so like it was like 4 specific
Yeah.
teams. But New England, you're the clear number 1, even with Stephon Diggs. Like you're the clear number 1. You have a young quarterback that Vrabel's wanting to build confidence in, and by doing that, you throw the ball. So I think New England would be a very good team for him to get to. Just any other ones that I'm thinking about right now, I mean, or just looking at teams. The Denver Broncos would be up there. Bo Nix and Sean Payton, like to throw the ball all over the field. I think that could be an interesting destination. Again, I would like to say the Indianapolis Colts, but I don't know if that would work out. And the way he's acted, I don't know if I necessarily would want that in my locker room.
That's too many mouths to feed too.
So
they would be similar to the Eagles' offense.
So I mean, outside of that, really the only other place that I could think of that doesn't like have a dominant number 1, like they have a bunch of good ones, but not a dominant number 1, maybe Green Bay. Realistically, I think the Patriots are probably his best option. But
yeah, okay, yeah, I forgot we did that. That's a good reminder. So my fault, but
no, you're good. No, I mean, but I think the Patriots really are his best option. Again, he's the number 1. You got a young quarterback that is willing to throw it downfield and everything. I mean, the Patriots are coming off just beating the Bills last week, so I mean, it's still a good football team.
I really like Drake May. I think he's got a real shot to be top 10 in the league in the next couple of years. All right, so let's get into.
It's like I said. It's like I almost said a couple years ago, coming out of the draft, that Drake May was the best quarterback in that draft class.
You did say that. All right, let's get into. You got some picks for this week or anything?
I do.
Do you want to go
we can do a couple real quick. I won't do the entire week, but
let's do the big games. Let's do some big games.
Obviously, I'm picking Colts over Cardinals without Kyler Murray. I mean, even with Kyler Murray, I was picking Colts over Cardinals. Really, the only big game this week is really the Sunday night game tonight. You have Chiefs, Lions, and Kansas City.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
And then
should be
tomorrow you have 2 Monday night games: Bills, Falcons, Bears, Commanders.
Bears, Commanders maybe might be good.
Yeah, I mean, really, outside of that, I mean, you got Browns, Steelers. I mean, that's a old ground and pound rivalry game. AFC North clash. Rams, Ravens would have been a good game, but no Lamar.
When does Cincinnati play?
At 4:25 today against the Packers.
So we'll see. Joe Flacco gets to do.
Yeah, I think the Packers obliterate them.
Oh,
I think I think what Cincinnati is doing by trading for Joe Flacco and putting him in behind that offensive line should be considered elderly abuse.
Yes, I agree with that. At least find somebody who can move out of the pocket and throw it.
I mean, and they said they didn't even attempt to call New York for Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston, which, okay, sure, don't call for Russell Wilson. I don't blame you. But you don't even call for Jameis? Like,
at least he can have the team behind him.
I mean, yeah.
He's a good motivator and a good teammate.
Eat that W.
Dude's wild. Jameis Winston's wild.
You got Browns, Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers 24-17. I think that game's really good. Listen, the Browns, I think if they could just figure out a couple things, the Browns could be really good. I mean, not really good, but I mean, Quinshon Judkins has proven to be a stud in the NFL. The defense is elite already as is. If they can just figure out how to move the ball downfield consistently, the Browns could be very good.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel's looked solid.
Yeah, I'd go Steelers over Browns. As weird as it sounds, this Cowboys-Panthers game could be really good. I would take the Cowboys just barely. I'd take that back. 420. Got Niners in Tampa Bay. I slightly lean for Niners. Something about that Mac Jones-led offense and then this defense. But I would go Lions over Chiefs 28-24. I think the Lions just have too much offensive firepower for Kansas City to keep up with. Bills beat the Falcons in Atlanta, and then Bears Commanders, I have Jaden Daniels beating Caleb Williams in that one for their Monday night clash. So
sweet. All right, well there you go. NFL what, week 7?
Yes.
Coming at you.
Week 6.
Week 6 coming at you. Whichever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Same thing.
Same thing. Same.
But different.
All right. One more and the last topic. Eric Spoelstra is the new head coach for the USA team. So Honestly, I love that hire. I think that's a game changer for the
But
U.S.
changes everything for that
It does.
USA team. And
Yeah, I've always liked Spoelstra. The way
I
he
mean,
handled the
Steve
Big
Kerr
Three and
was just
everything.
so abysmal to watch as a head coach. I mean, the dude can't put out a correct lineup for an end of game situation. Can't make changes throughout the course of the game. I mean, my God, I have been begging and pleading for Eric Spoelstra to take over Team USA, and
He's been
thank God
assistant
he
for a
is.
while, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
good for
thank
him.
God he is. And I hope he doesn't make me eat my words with wanting him, and we go out and now fucking lay a goose egg or something. But I did have some worries, still do have some worries a little bit about 2028 Olympics with specifically just basketball, just because I'm not sure what it's going to look like. Now, Colin Cowherd came out or no, wasn't Colin Cowherd. It was Gilbert Arenas. He said 2028, regardless, he goes, because, the Olympics are over here in 2028. He said, if you think the Olympics being in USA, you think there's any way that LeBron, Katie, and Steph won't still be on Team USA in 2028, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking about that. I think Katie and Steph will for sure, but LeBron,
I think it just depends on how
yeah,
long
how
LeBron
healthy
wants to play.
well,
And
how
I
healthy.
don't know what their ruling is on it if LeBron were to retire from the NBA before then, if they would allow
Do
him
you
to
have to
play
be
or
an
not.
active player? I don't think you do.
I don't know.
I don't think that would matter. I mean, he could still be on the team and be like a bench player if he retires or whatever. Or if anything, he's a coach. Like he's got to be on the team somewhere.
So it says, no, you don't have to be an active NBA player to play in the Olympics, as many non-NBA players compete for other countries. So I guess,
Yeah,
that would make sense.
right.
So yeah, I mean, he could retire and then just decide he wants to play in just one USA run, and they let him play.
I mean, how LeBron's treated his whole life. I mean, the dude's going to stay in shape. I mean, he's
Well,
obviously
yeah,
going to lax off because he's going to be retired. You don't have to worry about being at the best
he
at
doesn't have
what he
to
does.
train as hard.
Right,
Still
but
going to
I mean,
train, but just not as
LeBron at
hard if he has to.
I think LeBron at 70% is still better than most of the country's players. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with Arenas. I think he's definitely going to be on the team in some aspect, whether he's playing or not. He's still a good. I think LeBron's still a good leader. I think he's proven that, and he makes teammates around him better. So, yeah, I agree with Arenas. But yeah, I think we'll see. This is going to be a very eye-opening experience for the U.S. on what that team's going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm more optimistic than most for 2028 for what the USA basketball team will look like. I am, but I do have my concerns.
I think everybody does. Yeah, but
Well,
cool.
if
Shout
you
out.
ask some of these other people, they're kind of outrageous with it. They're like, "We're not even going to win any medal," and I'm like, "Come
Well,
on,
that's
dog."
not true. We're
I'm
still
like, dude, just off talent alone, at bare minimum, off talent alone, we're winning silver. So, like, to say you don't even,
Cooper Flag gonna be on that team.
I think there's a very good possibility.
He looks solid right now, even
Yeah, I mean, we
being a
could
rookie.
eventually we could do kind of a segment on
We
that of
should.
who we think who's going to be on that 2028 Team USA team, and then kind of wait and compare it to who actually will be. But yeah, I think Cooper Flag's got a good chance of being on it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Shout out Spolstra. Congrats to him on getting the new
Which,
head coaching
speaking of
jobs.
NBA, they kick off to next Tuesday.
Which is
So
crazy.
they kick off next Tuesday. So probably next week I'll have some form of a NBA preview for everybody.
Basketball is close to being back. Even
And then
college
and then
preseason is
we won't be
in a
far
couple
off
weeks.
from doing a college basketball preview, which is honestly outside of March Madness, mine and Doug's favorite segment when we do full college basketball previews.
I love college basketball. I think that's probably my favorite sport to cover.
So, but yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I think that does it for us for this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.